Today's video, I'm going to concentrate on getting my inside starts outside. And this is my rack of okra that is going outside just as soon as possible. Hi, I'm Kathleen and this is my Alabama farm life. And today I'm going to concentrate on getting my herbs into some soil. But I'm going to concentrate on the hyssop and the lemon balm. These are two of the herbs that are part of the hashtag Survival Seeds 2025. This is part of the herbal edition. I've also started a few other herbs and some flowers, and I'm going to work on getting them into a small area that I have next to my house. And here soon I got to work on getting all my melons into their containers and outside because they are not looking good. But that's going to be for another video. So I have a small area next to my porch where my gardenias are growing. I've cut the gardenias back really hard, and I'm going to plant all the herbs underneath the gardenias, and we're going to see how well they grow, if they grow at all. The soil here in this bed is not really that great. It was full of brambles and honeysuckle, so I cut them all out and I'm pulling out as much of the roots as I can. So the ideal here is to move as much as the junk or as much of the weeds and stuff that's here, break up the soil a little bit, and then I'm just going to be putting potting soil on top of this dirt along with my seedlings, and hopefully as the roots grow down they'll break up the soil in this bed. It's a pretty old bed and the soil underneath it is pretty tough. So as I was saying before, this video is going to be part of the Survival Seeds collaboration. That's hashtag Survival Seeds 2025, and it's still not too late to join. And I'll leave a link in the description of this video where you can go to the website if you decide to join and do an entry video. This collaboration is hosted by VC Family Homestead, Bushcraft Family, and Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. Make sure you leave a comment in my video to have a chance to win some really great prizes. The live prize video is going to be on May 25th. It's at 5:30 Eastern Time on VC Family Homestead. So hopefully I will see you there. All right, let's get back to gardening. As you can see here, all I'm doing is just laying down a thin layer of potting soil. Now understand you don't have to go out and buy potting soil. You can use really good composted soil that you have made yourself or already have on your own property or on your land. Or really, I could have just broken up the soil really good, maybe fertilized it a little bit, and then went ahead and just planted the seeds in the soil to see how well they would do. There are a lot of ways that you can do this, but I've just chosen to do it this way. So don't be afraid to try something to see how it works in your garden. So the next step, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take each little square that I have a little hyssop seedling in, and I'm just going to push it down into the soil. And once that I get those in there, I'm going to take a little bit more soil and I'm going to fill in the holes so that it's got a nice little, so it's nice and solid, so it's not going to move around too much. Okay, Cole, don't dig. There you go. Cole, quit chasing the chickens. Okay, so I feel really good about these. They feel like they're nice and snug. I'm just going to put a little extra dirt here and there just to make sure that they get plenty of coverage. And yeah, I'm sorry about yelling at the cat. Cole, my kitty, has discovered a new game. He has been playing Chase the Chicken, so he gets them all riled up. Cole! Oh no, I don't have anything to cover this up. That's not true. I actually do have something to cover up the plants. We have a couple of bags of straw laying around, so I'm just going to go ahead and place some straw around each of these little plants and make sure they got some good coverage. This will help keep moisture, it'll help the soil retain the moisture, and hopefully discourage any of the weeds to regrow here. Okay, now let's talk about hyssop. This is Hyssopus officinalis, and this is actually part of the mint family, and it's native to southern Europe and the Middle East and regions surrounding the Caspian Sea. There is another type of hyssop that is native to the United States, but this is not what we're growing. We're actually growing the hyssop that is known in the Bible. So this is really exciting. It says that it's a brightly colored shrub. It ranges from 12 to 24 inches. It has a woody stem at the base, and it grows a number of upright branches. And during the summer, it produces pink, blue, and very rarely white, fragrant flowers. Now, before I go any further, I want to say do your own research. This is for entertainment only. But I'm over here on WebMD, and I'm going to read you some of the things that they have here in this little couple of paragraphs. Hyssop officinalis is edible. You can make tea with it. It says that it is used to treat coughs, earaches, asthma, and bloating, or you may use it. It's shown that there are studies that are beginning to show that some of these age-old folk remedies do have some impressive health benefits. Now, the health benefits for hyssop, for example, this plant is rich in flavonoids that can act as antioxidants. This can help reduce age-related conditions like cataracts, heart disease, and strokes. And then there's also reduced risk of ulcers. They say that there's a chemical linked to the hyssop that helps reduce the risk of developing stomach ulcers. It may also help with asthma. Traditionally, it was used for treating asthma and head colds. It has a substance in it that is very similar to camphor, which is known to help open airways. So it can really help in cases of asthma attacks. But always consult your physician before you do this. There are also some health risks that are related to hyssop, and you want to be very careful. If you have a mint allergy, do not use it. It also may trigger seizures, so if you have a pre-existing condition, do not use it. And it also can cause miscarriages to pregnant women. It may cause the uterus to contract, so please don't use it if you are expecting. As you can see, I also decided to go ahead and use the holes in these concrete blocks. It's not very pretty, but I figure if I can grow some flowers in them, it would make it look really nice. So we'll see if I can get anything to grow. So in the first one, I decided to go ahead and put another hyssop. Now the other two, I decided to put in lemon balm. Now I have a whole tray of 12, and not all of them came up. And to me, it doesn't seem like they were growing really well. So we're going to see if I can get these to perk up and grow. I really would love to have some lemon balm growing in the yard. I mean, I already have peppermint and spearmint, and then now I have the hyssop, and lemon balm would be an excellent addition. Just like hyssop, lemon balm is also part of the mint family, but the leaves tend to have a lemon scent, and during the summer they have small white flowers that are full of nectar, so the bees are going to love them. All right, so now I'm back over at WebMD, and we're going to talk about the usefulness of lemon balm. And what it says here is that lemon balm has a sedative and calming effect. And it's also can reduce the growth of some viruses and bacteria. They say lemon balm is good for cold sores, anxiety, stress, insomnia, indigestion, dementia, that's unusual, and many other conditions. But it also indicates here there is no good scientific evidence to support many of these effects. It says here that it possibly may be effective for depression. If taken by mouth, it can help improve symptoms of depression in adults. Again, it helps with cold sores. Again, it also says it may help with stress by taking lemon balm by mouth, so I would probably use it as a tea. It increases calmness, memory, and alertness in adults under mental stress. Now, it also says the side effects of lemon balm when taken by mouth. You need to be careful. It says some of the side effects are generally mild, but they may include increased appetite, nausea, dizziness, and wheezing. It says there's not enough reliable information, but they said it's probably safe enough to use for 6 months. Now, when applied to the skin, it's very safe, but it can cause skin irritation. So again, you need to be careful. All right, I am done. I've got my hyssop, my lemon balm. I also put in some black-eyed Susans. I have a couple of yarrow and one mullein that sprouted. I also have some dill, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put them. So again, this space isn't the greatest looking space, but I think once all the flowers start to grow and bloom, it'll be wonderful. All right, guys, I want to do a really quick thank you to all my members, Fractured Christian, Greg Bryson, and Gail's Southern Living. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, I'm going to leave you here with Cole chasing chickens, but you guys have a blessed and joyous day, and I will see you on my next video.